join us here on February 8th. I am very excited, pleased, and very thankful to say this is our 1-year anniversary of broadcasting right here in downtown Providence from the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I would like to say thank you so much for your viewership, your readership, and continuing to support local journalism within our community. It has been a true pleasure to bring you breaking news stories and continuing to support local businesses, as well as bringing you great information as well as entertainment throughout the past year. It all happens right here on the street corner and in this studio, so it's been a true pleasure. We're going to continue to bring you the latest news and information daily, and we're going to kick things off here on our anniversary show with one of our favorites, Kristin MacRae of Organizing in Rhode Island. She's been here almost every single Thursday for the past year. Your loyalty is much appreciated.
Well, I
Kristin.
appreciate this. This is a great opportunity I love hanging out with you guys on Thursday. It's so much fun.
It is.
Thank you.
It is pretty fun. And not only have you been with us the past year for Golocal Live, but you've been with Golocal Pro for a long time, writing articles weekly as well. So we appreciate your content.
Thank you.
And so it's been fun for us just being able to go back and forth weekly. So today what we're going to do is going to be fun as well. So you came up with the idea of talking about couples and clutter because next week is Valentine's Day. But today's segment can really go with anybody, whether you have a roommate or whether you're in some kind of relationship. Really, when you have more than one person, if you're not living by yourself, you're dealing with not only your stuff, but their stuff as well, right?
Exactly.
So talk to me about a little bit about how you came up with this idea of couples and clutter.
So I work with a lot of couples, and what happens is it's a big stressor in the home. You come home from work, you want to just relax, and you're hit with the piles of paper, the clothes in the den, the clothes on the dining room table, the toys everywhere. It just becomes a stressor, and now you're stressed out. You have to go to bed, and now you're not sleeping well because of all the clutter around you. It just becomes a snowball effect, and I wanted to talk about this because I have so many clients that are dealing with this, and it just becomes that stressor, and we want to alleviate that, and it can be alleviated so easily with just a couple of easy steps that we can help you today to tackle this. So that's why I wanted to bring it up today, because it is going on, and it can be alleviated. So many people are overwhelmed, and it's causing stress in the marriage and the partnerships, and you don't want that. You don't need that stress. So that's why I want to talk about that today.
Okay, and then when you go into the home, you're kind of put in an awkward position.
Yeah. So when I work with couples together, what happens is I like to work separately with them, each at different times, because when they're together, now it's a fight. Sometimes I'm in the middle of it. Yeah. Somebody wants to get rid of something. Somebody says, no, I don't want to get rid of that. Blame's getting tossed back and forth. And I'm in the middle, and I'm like cringing in the corner, like, okay, you guys handle it. I'm not a therapist. So sometimes I feel like a therapist, but technically that's not my job. So I'm treated as one when I come into the home, into these situations. So I can guide you on what to do to get past this, but technically I'm not. So what we're talking about today, it's not like a therapy session, but it's how to get that clutter taken care of to alleviate the problems that you might be having living at home with clutter.
Okay, so we have 5 steps for you to conquer your clutter. But first, let's talk a little bit about what happens if you are disorganized within your relationship.
So a lot of fights start. You'll find that you're coming home and you're arguing because you can't find what you're looking for. You're running out the door to an important event and you can't find your keys, or you can't find your tie or your accessory to your dress. And now you're stressed out, and now you start arguing, but you're arguing about the wrong things. You're taking it out on somebody else, but when really it's your responsibility to get organized and be able to find things, but you lash out at somebody else. You know what happens. You get stressed out, so you take it out on the person that's there. So if you alleviate all that, these problems won't happen, but I find that it causes a lot of stress and a lot of rifts in the house. And then throw kids into the mix, and now it's like tenfold in the house. So a lot of people say, I just want to move, I just want to pack up and move, and everything will be fine. Move into another house. And it's like, no, that's not the answer. You have a beautiful house, we just need to get it organized, and then those problems will go away. But until you can acknowledge the fact that the reason you're fighting and the reason you're having these rifts is because of the clutter that's in the home and the disorganization, then that will go away.
Okay. And you say that it's important to think about it and talk about it, and really think about how important it is in your relationship, whether it's a marriage or relationship or roommate or whatever. How important is it for you?
Well, it's this little thing that's going on that you can easily solve, and I want you to think about what's causing the stress. So what areas of the house are causing you stress, and how, like, they're silly problems sometimes. You're fighting about, and you really stop and think about what you're fighting about. It's these silly little problems. You can't find something you're looking for, and it turns into the snowball effect. Now it turns into the pile in the bedroom and the pile in the bathroom. So it becomes this, again, snowball effect, and we just want to talk to you about how to rein that in, and
there's only so many times you can trip over your partner's shoes, but you don't need to dissolve your relationship over tripping over shoes, right? So there's just simple things that don't need to cause so much stress. Okay, so let's talk it out. We have 5 steps for couples to conquer clutter. I really wanted to make this hard on myself
They're always tongue twisters.
I really wanted to make it hard on myself. All right, number 1, talk it out.
So talk it out. So
lay it out there.
Yeah, have a family meeting. And I talk about this a lot. Communication is so important when it comes to this. Have a family meeting, sit down. I know everybody's busy, but I want you to think about, you're busy, but what you're going to tackle now is going to affect the rest of your life. So having that organized home, take the time to do this now. So when you're busy down the road, you might not be as busy. You're just busy because you can't find what you're looking for in the house and you're stressed out because of that. Have that family meeting. Talk about the bathroom. Talk about the bedroom. Talk about the paper. Map it all out on your tablet or paper and just throw it all out there. What's bothering you? What irritates you about the bedroom and why you can't sleep well? Because every morning you wake up and you're looking at the piles of clothes on the floor, the pile of clothes on the bureau, and all that clutter. So map it out, talk about it, and then come up with a solution. All right, how are we going to tackle this? Maybe next Saturday we both have a half an hour. We're just going to focus on the bedroom. Or maybe it's an hour. Maybe it's 15 minutes. Break this process down, but you have to talk about it or it's never going to go away. And stop saying you're so busy. It's an excuse. It's an excuse, but if you're worried about long-term organization in your home and getting past this clutter and disorganization, you have to take the time to actually tackle this now so that way you can move forward.
Usually it's you just don't want to do it. Right?
Yeah, that's most.
I'm so busy really just means you do, like, you could make time to do it, you just don't want to. You're filling your time up with other stuff.
Right, and how important is this to you? How important are these petty arguments you're having? Yeah. Think about how important it is to you and then put a plan into motion.
So we like this, you're talking about it, you are creating responsibility for yourself. You said make that to-do list, and you said to assign responsibilities. What I think is interesting about this is assigning responsibilities. All right, so you take care of the laundry, I'll take care of the dishes. Does it really fall in line? I know in relationships that I have, like, I hate dishes, but we both do them. But I just found out that my husband hates cleaning the shower, and it's like, okay, well, I realize I'm the one that's been cleaning the shower for our whole relationship. Yeah, I get it, but like just having those conversations, right? So that's, you can find out, okay, well, I know, like, we both take out the garbage, fine,
right?
So, but does that, like, when you assign responsibilities, does that just kind of ease the tension?
It does.
And I mean, assigning responsibilities kind of sounds weird, but it's like, we like doing this, you like doing that, and that's okay.
Right, and it's not about the physical disorganization sometimes, it's about that time management in the house like you're just talking about. Yeah. It's about who wants to do what. Like, have that list of who wants to do dishes, who wants to clean the bathroom, and doing that, and who wants to run errands and go food shopping. When you get in a good flow, so once you release the clutter and get rid of the clutter, now you can focus on time management in the house and all these responsibilities. Now that you can see clear all the clutter's gone, you can say, all right, now we can just focus on running the household. Because that's all it is, maintaining the systems you've created and now running this household. And now you can sit and say, okay, who likes to clean the bathroom? Who likes to do the dishes? And now you can wrap your head around it, because before, when you're in the clutter and the chaos of the household, that's the last thing you want to think about, but you're just kind of on autopilot with this stuff. Or maybe you have people that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, and it becomes stressful. And so going forward, think about assigning responsibilities, but clear the clutter first, and then sit down and come up with a plan for that.
Okay, number 2, and this is really important. Don't blame each other.
This happens so often. So one person will say, you need to pick up your stuff in the bedroom, I'm tired of looking at it, while you have your paper piles in the dining room table. This happens so often. You start to place blame on what everybody else is doing in the house, but you still have your stuff to deal with. So start first focusing on your stuff. This happens a lot too when I'm with clients. When I work with one client, we get their stuff organized, and now that room's beautiful, and now maybe the other partner is in another room that's disorganized, and they're like, wow, you really got your stuff together. I think I need to get my stuff together now. So that will happen too. So stop putting blame, tackle your stuff first, your areas that are accumulating clutter, and then say, they might say, wow, this can be done. The house is looking great. Now it looks like it's all my stuff. So it motivates them a little bit to keep it going, to get
positive reinforcement.
Positive reinforcement.
And you know what, Kristin? No one likes a finger pointer, right?
Sorry, did I just point my...
No, but I'm just saying, right? Like,
right,
no one
exactly.
likes this, so don't do it.
Right, and then they shut down. You get defensive and you shut down if somebody's pointing a finger at you. So tackle your stuff first, and then watch how it changes the rest of the household, because I've seen it happen, how it gets everybody in gear.
I think it's also important too, when you're going through this process and you're trying to get organized, whether it's for you, for your household, for whatever the reason is, it's important too, like if you're tossing stuff away and you're getting in that moment and you're excited, if stuff doesn't belong to you, you know, whether it's from before your relationship or before you moved in with a roommate or whatever, not to throw away other people's stuff. I think that's really important. So if it's like a bill or a document or, you know, somebody else's pillow or rug, whatever, I think that's important too, like respecting other people's stuff.
It's so important to respect other people's stuff. Again, as I'm going through clients, I tend to have them put a bin in the room and say, okay, if this is somebody else's in the house, whether it's the kids or your partner or whoever, have designated bins. And then now they have these bins to go through and let them go through it. You never want to, because you don't want people throwing out your stuff. People will be like, oh, I'm just going to throw it out. It's my husband's coat. He's not going to wear it anymore. I say, please don't do that. Because then I don't want him to come home and blame me because his stuff is, has been thrown out. I don't encourage that. I don't like that. So just have a bin set aside so that when they come home, they can go through it.
Also, too, because then what if they end up looking for that?
Well, yeah, that's
waste a lot of time.
Because you wouldn't want your stuff thrown away.
No.
And I discourage people from doing that.
Okay, number 3, tackle it together.
This is great, too. So you have time, maybe on the weekend or at night, whenever. If it's the basement or if it's the garage, community areas where you're using that space, or even the kitchen, if you both love to cook, get in there together and talk about systems going forward, declutter. So since you're both using that space, you can both talk about how do you want to function. And we talk about this a lot too, sitting down and just talking about how you want to function going forward. So many people don't do that. And that way you can develop the systems together. So now maintaining the systems is going to be easy because everybody's in on the system. Or even in your bedroom, you're both in your bedroom. So talk about the bureau that's overflowing. And if it's your bureau, you tackle it. Let him tackle her tackle her closet, whatever it may be. Do it together, but have your spaces that you're working on at the same time. So, and you're spending time together too. So it's something fun to do together. I don't know if you consider it fun, but it's something you can do together. And
plus a sense of accomplishment. Too.
Exactly. And then you're tackling the bedroom. Now watch how your sleep changes in that bedroom and how like your mojo changes in the bedroom when there's no clutter in the bedroom and you can sleep peacefully and have that serene space to retreat to.
Definitely. I think I might have skipped ahead a little bit. Respect your partner's stuff is number 4. So sorry I skipped ahead a little bit.
No, that's right. So the same thing, respecting their stuff so you don't want to throw out anything that's theirs. And then going forward, like in the garage, if you're in the garage, just respect that they have their space in the garage, you have your space maybe, and don't let them tackle that space. Put it on the calendar, tackle it, or do it together like we talked about.
Yeah. I think that's so important too, because no matter what it is, it would feel very uncomfortable if someone threw out one of your belongings, like whether it's a roommate or a spouse, partner, whatever it is.
Right.
So don't throw away someone else's stuff. Even if it seems so small and insignificant, you don't know if they're going to be out there looking for it later on.
Right, or maybe say,
it's tough.
I'm going to put this pile in the basement of yours. It's down there. Maybe decide that in 2 weeks, if you don't want it, if you haven't gone down there, I can get rid of it. But you've made that decision together, and they might say, yes, if it's not there, if it's there in 2 weeks and I haven't gotten to it and I know it's not anything I'm going to use, you have permission to get rid of it. So as long as they give you permission, then you've gotten the okay to tackle it.
Okay, and I think that kind of leads us into number 5, is set a timeline to get rid of it. And that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, again, think about, you might have paper piles that you obviously know that maybe it's nothing that your partner's going to want to look at, or it's junk mail, but it's got his or her name on it. And then you can say, listen, tell them this is junk mail. Can I get rid of it? Again, just asking permission if you can do that is huge. And then if they say, yeah, sure, in 2 weeks, if I don't get to it, just get rid of it. you know your partner, you know if they're gonna go, if it's male and stuff like that, you know, they know what they need, or you know what they need, what they don't need. So something like that, they can give you permission to just get rid of, because they might not want to go through that project and you're in the mode of going through the paper, so you can just get rid of it.
But you never know. Sometimes they might have sensitive documents in there. I like to shred certain things where other people don't.
Right.
So you don't know exactly. Well, you might know, you might not know.
Always ask.
Always ask.
That's going to cause a whole nother fight. If
Always ask. But I like the idea of setting a timeline too, because you think you could be like, I'm in this mode, I'm in this, like, let's tackle the basement, let's tackle the garage, let's get this done, the spare bedroom, whatever it is, and then you do it, and then you're like, okay, well, now I have the box, from the spare bedroom that I need to do this, but then the box just sits there, and it sits there, and then you get more stuff in it. But if you have that timeline, okay, we have 2 weeks to take care of this extra box, we need to get it, or the junk drawer, whatever it is. Setting a timeline to do that, then it gives you accountability.
Yeah, and then realize too that in the households, you don't know how your partner grew up. Your partner could have grown up, or you could have grown up in disorganized households. Maybe your parents did everything for you, so you were the skill set was never transferred to you, or your parents were both disorganized, or they were organized, whatever. But you never learned that skill set, so you don't know what. Ask your partner, did you grow up in a disorganized home? Maybe you don't have the skill set. Maybe they're putting this project off because they don't actually know how to start and they're overwhelmed just like you are. So you have to dig deep a little bit to find out why these projects aren't getting tackled. And I find that a lot when working with couples, that they're both just as overwhelmed, and that's why they're passing blame, because when you get stressed out, it just becomes like,
oh yeah.
So think about that back history of what's going on and how they grew up and what kind of homes they lived in as far as disorganization and organization, and talk to them about that. And you might find that once you dig deep and find out what's actually going on, it's going to be a lot easier to wrap your head around these projects. So that's something really to think about. Maybe tonight talk to your partner about that. Did you grow up in a disorganized home? Were you organized? And then see where that leads you. And they might say, you know what, I don't know how to, that might lead to, I don't know how to create organized systems. I need your help. Or you need my help to come in and help you both. So really think about that. I think you need to dig a little deeper to find out why it's not getting done, and that could be why, and you need those resources.
Yep, get to the root of the problem. Okay, so before we let you go, talk a little bit about, and we kind of talked about this a little bit, if you're moving in with somebody new, starting about having those conversations to begin with before you just jump in and throw your stuff all over the place.
Yeah, so again, I want you to have that conversation and talk about how are you living in your last home. What do we need to do to bring this household together to help it become organized and create these simple systems? Do it in the beginning, because as you continue to live together, life will get busy, life will get complicated, things will come up, stressors will hit you. But if you're organized, it's going to make your life that much simpler. And another tip, I get these calls a lot too, couples that are starting to have kids and they're disorganized.
Yeah.
If you're disorganized and you're bringing a child into a disorganized home, your life is going to get chaotic tenfold. So a lot of clients will call me and say, I'm having a baby, you need to come and get this house straightened out before the baby comes. Because they realize with the baby is a whole other person you have to take care of, and a whole other area of the house you have to take care of. And then once they start going to school, the paper is going to come in, and it's just going to snowball again. And you really want to get these things under control before you bring a child in. And again, it's all about having the conversation and finding out what's going on.
All right, Kristin MacRae with Organizing in Our Eye. We'll have a link on the website if you want more information, or you want to contact her and have her help you get all your stuff organized.
Yes.
She's available. Kristin, thanks so much for joining
Molly.
us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's been great. All right, so we are going to continue on with our segment. Thanks so much, Kristin. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to keep things rolling here on our 1-year anniversary show. I'd like to say hello and welcome in Rosanna Ortiz. She is CEO and founder of Style